Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 6 of our F1 2001 career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the French Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live earlier on this week from Montreal, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Of course, it's safe to say this season is really throwing up quite a few interesting twists. Before we come to La Castellet though, we've got to try and sort out a couple of upgrades on the car. If we learnt one thing from that weekend, it's that the only thing we seem to be lacking on this car at this point is just a little bit of engine power. So we're going to try and bring a couple of major upgrades to the car in the next few races. Championship-wise, we've got a 13-point lead over Jacques Villeneuve after he claimed his second victory of the campaign, of course, at the circuit that bears his dad's name last weekend there. We've only finished 4th or 1st so far this campaign, so maybe that trend will continue this weekend as well here in France. But of course, obviously, if you're new, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. We're trying to hit 140,000 subs by the end of the year. We haven't got long left of 2024, so I'd love to finish the year with a bang. But yeah, let's head out then here to La Castellet, and hopefully we can have a good Grand Prix. Well, here we are then, ready for one-shot qualifying at Circuit Paul Ricard, and I'm hoping this weekend can really try and suit our car. I would expect Ferrari to be quick here. I would expect Williams to be quick here as well, but I'm hoping through Sector 1 and Sector 3, hopefully we're going to have a car that can really fight here. Last weekend really did kind of show, of course, we've got a lot of fast circuits coming up on this calendar that, you know, this season we could really have a interesting kind of 3-team fight where we're all competitive enough with each other in all aspects, but obviously all just have different strengths and weaknesses against the other teams as well there. Of course, for me, if we somehow don't get a pole position this season, then I'm going to be really gutted with myself by the end of the campaign there. But as we just navigate our way up through the chicane, you can just see Frentzen once again. Obviously took pole position last time out, but struggled a little bit for race pace come the end of the afternoon there. It still seems like Jacques Villeneuve has just got the one up on his teammate, but can we try and get closer to the German as we make our way into this tight technical Sector 3. I say tight and technical by Paul Ricard standards. The rest of the circuit obviously is very wide open, but you can see here there's a wall. There's a wall near the circuit, and that's pretty scary around this venue there. But through the final couple of corners, Williams once again, I think it is probably both of their drivers in control. They're huge, that oversteer, as we try and put the power down up towards the line though. We are going to end up in P3. That's pretty good going. Well, there we go. Only 3 cars separated by less than half a second there, and a 6/10 gap to my teammate David Coulthard, who lines up P4. Ferrari, I thought they'd be quick here. Apparently not. They just cannot get qualifying laps hooked up at the moment. Schumacher down in 13th place, just ahead of Mika Hakkinen there, ahead of both BAR, both Arrows and the Minardis at the rear of the field. But once again, Ferrari just don't nail it on Saturday and give their drivers so much work to do come Sunday afternoon.
Formula One on ITV in association with Texaco.
Welcome along then to France, host of the world famous Tour de France. But we're not talking 2 wheels today, We're talking 4 in a country widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing back in the late 1800s. We've come a long way since then, and you're about to find out how far. It's time for the French Grand Prix. 6 lefts and 9 rights give us a total of 15 corners here at the circuit Paul Ricard, and a lap covers an overall distance of 3.6 miles. Average speeds will be somewhere in the region of 142 miles per hour, and they'll be maxing out on the Mistral Straight at around 205 miles per hour. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
They've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far, but whether they can keep that up long term remains to be seen.
Well, Anthony Davidson then clearly just questioning my abilities behind the wheel of a Formula 1 car. I know we came up short last season, but I think that was more down to the car's inherent lack of pace rather than my own lack of skill. Maybe you guys will disagree though, we did bottle it early on in the Canadian Grand Prix last time out, but we might be the only driver that can really challenge Williams today, and that's exactly what I want to do. We can't let Jacques Villeneuve start stringing together victories and getting too comfortable at the front of the order there, but it is his teammate Frentzen on pole yet again. 5 red lights here at Magny-Cours. That's the wrong circuit name, but it's going to be lights out, and away we go there. Maybe my 2000s knowledge just a little bit too much there as David Coulthard instantly trying to be the hero down in towards someone. We are going to get mugged. Oh, by Marc Genet as well there as actually Barrichello goes around the outside. Where did he come from through that first corner there? Barrichello suddenly up in a P4 then. So a really, really good start by him as David Coulthard further up the order as we've already got a virtual safety car. And I believe that is Jenson Button out of the race. Well, I was completely wrong, sorry. It was Jos Verstappen who's our first casualty of the afternoon. Just everybody nip and tuck. And he runs into the back of the Benetton in front of him. And Jos Verstappen at a very early exit out of this Grand Prix. Well, we are going to go green flag racing once again. And once more, Marc Genet really trying to attack us here. That Sauber, whoa, is so fast in a straight line. This car is incredibly loose. Through Scene Corner there, up at the back end of the circuit. We've got more yellows out. Have we had another casualty out on lap 1? Yes, we have, and that's a Ferrari. Well, this, I believe, then Mika Hakkinen making his way in towards the final sector of the lap there. Just gets out a little bit wide, and one of the, I think that's a BAR car, runs into him there. Yeah, just see, trying to avoid too much understeer there, and they both just get wedged on the racing line. And plenty of other cars going to be involved in this one. So once again, we've seen a lap 1 pile-up. I've got no idea how many cars are involved in it. But that is a scary, scary shunt. At least about 6 or 7 cars involved. But if all of these cars are already out of the Grand Prix, then I've got no idea how we haven't got a safety car there. As Coulthard into the pit lane at the end of lap 1. So I guess our teammate must have made contact with either... Well, I would assume it would have been Jacques Villeneuve on this opening lap as well there, so plenty of chaos. Somehow only 4 cars out. I thought there were at least 6 involved in that one pile-up, but apparently, yeah, some of them have got away with it, I suppose. And now the safety car comes out. That might really save David Coulthard here. As, I mean, if he can no-stop this to the end of the afternoon, our teammate might have a massive upper hand. But what I always forget about La Castellet is how long the final sector is. Safety car's meant to be coming in, and yet we're still just all following it around. I'm hoping, though, we can try and get back around Rubens pretty quickly, because I'm genuinely just nervous about Marc Genet behind. That Sauber car seems to be very, very quick at this early stage of the afternoon there as well. We were lucky to catch that slide as well as we did through the final couple of corners. Can we try and get the power down, though, against Barrichello? Of course, we can't jump him before we get to the line, but as soon as we go over it, we put alongside him there, and we will get around the outside at turn 1. Just about able to commit there around the outside through that first corner. And now, your top 3 as they were at the beginning of this race, and we've got to try and attack Villeneuve, and hopefully Frentzen won't pull away. There we go, we've moved past Rubens, so now has Marc Genet, and I'm going to be interested to see if he can catch back up to us here. Just does not feel like at the moment we've got the pace to match those Williams, as luckily, seemingly that Jaguar wants to make it difficult for him a bit further behind. I can hear a little bit of wheel banging. Looks like they're both still going though, so not going to try and ask questions about what's going on behind us in this race. I just want to focus on these top two. Oh, well, we've got more yellows. We've got a safety car. I think that's Barrichello that's gone. What on earth is going on? Well, it wasn't Barrichello, sorry, but it was Barrichello involved in it there as the Jordan tries to make it 3 wide up the back straight there. Yeah, Giancarlo just nowhere to go down the end of the straight. We'll have a look at it from his POV. You just see Barrichello in the middle getting absolutely sandwiched. Let me try and get a better view of it from behind. And just, I mean, he's over the white line anyway, but he just gets squeezed out, and that is going to be another safety car. No, that's bad. Mark Genet, Ralf Schumacher both into the pit lane. We've opted to stay out. I was going to follow the Williams here. Whatever they did, I was going to do. But it looks like other drivers might get the jump on us as Barrichello has picked up a 5-second penalty for his troubles. Can't say I disagree. Yeah, I think that one's perfectly fair. But yeah, by following Williams, have I made a big strategy blunder? Well, I've got to give Michael Schumacher some credit. Of course, after yet another terrible qualifying, he's avoided the chaos early on and has moved his way up the order pretty nicely early on in this GP there. But as Frentzen once again is going to lead us around these final couple of corners, just got to try and make sure I'm nice and tidy on the throttle there at the final turn. And hopefully again, we're going to be able to try and keep up with those two Williams cars there. Barrichello kind of left a little bit in the dust. Maybe we'll see Michael Schumacher try and get the run on him down in towards turn 1. Still feels odd, of course, in this series. The fact that those who have never been teammates, such a quintessential lineup of the early 2000s there. But Barrichello, he's going to try and keep Michael Schumacher back. And that allows us to attack our front two. Oh no, we've got more yellow flags. What's gone on? Please don't tell me there's another car out. Yep. I don't know who that is, but are we going to see another safety car in this Grand Prix? Yes, we do. Well, what do we make of this one then? I believe this is Kimi Räikkönen going side by side with Jenson Button. They just kind of met in the middle. And that's going to be Kimi going for a spin and is out of the Grand Prix there. I'm guessing he stalled that car. But yeah, I mean, that was such a small amount of contact made between the pair of them there, as you can just see making their way in. Just kind of met in the middle. Yep. Oh, no, he's lost the rear wheel. That'll explain it. But, we've got another safety car. Well, we might not have taken the opportunity last time round when the safety car came out. I'm not going to make that same mistake twice, though. We are going to dive into the pits at the end of lap 9. Will we see either of those Williams in? Yes, we do. So, Jacques Villeneuve as well into the pit lane there. And I swear he just sped. He was definitely going quicker than 37 miles an hour into that pit lane then. But Magnussen behind us following us in. Schumacher looks like he's going to stay out there. So will we get held up behind some other cars? No, we won't. But annoyingly, neither does Villeneuve there. Both of us cutting it very, very fine into the pit lane. But, I mean, this is safety car number 3 of the race. It is still the thing that bugs me the most with this mod, is how many safety cars you end up with because of it. But we can only end up with one more. To be fair, when you look back at those 3 separate incidents in this Grand Prix, I think it's safe that all of them probably should have been a safety car there. I mean, Raikkonen was right in the firing line down at the hairpin, but yeah, it's just obviously, you just get so many stop-start Grand Prix, it feels like, still, with this mod. It is a little bit awkward there, as I've got my foot to the floor. Why won't the game let me keep up with all the runners in front there, as we are pretty much going to be green flag racing down in towards the final couple of corners. Has Frentzen, though, just been hung out to dry by the Williams team there? Have they just prioritised Jacques Villeneuve as we make our way through the final couple of corners? Not quite able to put the power down out of that final turn, though. And as we go green flag racing once again there, you can see immediately Villeneuve is going to try and go on the attack against Jarno Trulli. We're going to try and follow him by there around the outside of the Minardi. A little bit more awkward for us. But we do make it through. David Coulthard now is up to about P5, and of course he has pit in this Grand Prix, so our teammate might be able to go to the checkered flag, but how will Villeneuve be able to try and cut his way through? He's going to have a big advantage, surely, over a lot of these cars, especially in a straight line there, but yeah, the AI don't tend to be as brave, trying to go for moves through the corners. You can see again, though, straight to the inside of Jean Alesi, as we make our way up the back straight. I'm trying to find an 8th gear that doesn't exist there, and Villeneuve will say thank you very much. Of course, yeah, he saw at Monaco why, you know, he doesn't want to have to follow other cars for extended periods of time. We can thank Marc Genet for that one, but can we now try and get a run on a Lacey as well, up in towards this final sector there. Just a little bit of a blend. Try to keep the back end in check through here. But surely we can try and chop underneath there as well. Villeneuve trying to do the same to Ralf Schumacher just in front there. Both Jordans seemingly going backwards on this restart lap. But it is a big, big push between myself and Villeneuve here to try and carve our way through. We need to try and get around Ralf, in through the final couple of corners as we got another one gone.
Okay, box. We're adjusting the strategy. Come in this lap. Full course caution. The safety
How on earth are we not out? How on earth are we not out of this Grand Prix? I've picked up a 5-second penalty, but I thought that was going to be game over in this GP there. We will limp into the pit lane at the end of that lap, of course. We'll serve the penalty now, but David Coulthard just in the middle of the road. I cannot believe we have survived that one. Is David Coulthard? Surely David Coulthard's out of this Grand Prix. I mean, yeah, there's only 10 cars left running, so taking the penalty, I suppose. This is going to be a very long pit stop, but that is the last safety car we can get in this Grand Prix, and somehow we're still in this race. But as long as both Minardis then can get to the end of the afternoon, they're in for a pretty good payday here, because both cars still running, and with only 10 cars left, everybody that's still in this Grand Prix, if they get to the finish, they are going to score points there. Frentzen, though, still leading the way at the front of the order. I've got no idea whether he's pit yet at all. Michael Schumacher following him in P2 as we want to try and get around as many cars as we can, as quickly as we can there. Villeneuve is still down in only P6 as I cannot jump past Jarno Trulli until it's green flags again. So there we go, straight up into P9. And then we've got to try and find a way around Alonso down at the first couple of corners as well there. I mean, yeah, that Minardi is just so slow relative to everything else on the grid at the moment. Alonso will try and go defensive as well there, but it's kind of not really worth it for him. I mean, this is the guy they want to try and keep up with. Jenson Button, they can somehow outscore him today, and they could be on for a, try and take some points out of BAR and Arrows in the championship. But already, Jacques Villeneuve, though, making moves further up the order. He's now trying to look around the outside of Alexander Wirtz, who also has a 5-second penalty here. But Frentzen, he is bolted off of this restart. Oh, Wirtz has gone. We can't get another safety car. There's been too many safety cars, I believe, in this race. So Wirtz now out there after contact with Jacques Villeneuve, so that's disappointing for him. And we've lost Alonso as well. So I can only assume Alonso's crashed into Wirtz after this restart. But honestly, there's been so many incidents. It's hard to keep up with them all. It's almost into the back of Button. We will get through there, bobble over the curbs on the exit. JB will try and come back at me, but we are through. We got more cars into the pit lane as well then. Is this going to put Marc Genet up into P1 there as Barrichello's in? Michael Schumacher's in even. And yeah, there we go, Frentzen's in. So Marc Genet for Sauber now leads this race. And as we saw with Frentzen against Schumacher at Canada, the Ferrari-powered cars are very, very quick right now. Jacques Villeneuve might genuinely struggle to get around him. Or, as soon as I say that, Jacques Villeneuve, he's going to put alongside Marc Genet, and, yeah, he's going to make light work of it. I mean, these two, though, still side by side up into the chicane. Could we see some wheel banging? No, Marc Genet appreciates how good of an opportunity this is once again for Sauber, so we'll just back out of it. Oh, there we go, that's good. New fastest lap of the day, so maybe we have got the pace to try and fight with Villeneuve towards the end of this one. The car is still racy, while Villeneuve's still trying to just build up a gap at the front of the order there as we are now all over the back of Marc Genet. So clearly that Sauber, not a million miles away from your top teams, but yeah, definitely still a noticeable step down here, and it's through the corners where we really notice the difference against, I believe, was he? Yeah, I think he was, I want to say he was, no, Spanish, wasn't he, Marc Genet? Surprised me, I only found this out recently. For some reason I had in my head that he was German or Austrian now. I think I was almost getting him muddled up with Alexander Wirtz, but yeah, Genet, obviously a Spanish driver, as well, Villeneuve's just completely gone and destroyed my fastest lap. So I think any hope we have of trying to keep up with him towards the end has pretty much been eradicated immediately. Now you can start to see why we're trying to do so many power upgrades to this car. We're very, very good on the high downforce circuits, but again, with the likes of Silverstone, Spa, Monza all coming up this season in a straight line, we just have not got enough still to keep up with that Williams there. And even the Sauber can be quite difficult to try and find the way around as we will try and put the power down out onto the Mistral straight. This time we've got the slipstream off of Genet as well, as we see tucked right up behind him. 207 miles an hour up at the red line. Just be careful that we don't run into the back of him here, but this has often been a good traction zone for us. As we'll try and get the power down on the exit there, and you just see able to put alongside him there, wheel to wheel with Genet, and well, that thing's just got the power. How on earth is he been able to go straight back past me again? I mean, we got the better run off the corner. Can we try and have a look down the inside here? This is probably going to be our best shot. Oh, into the twisty stuff. Down the inside we'll go. And we are up into P2. No. That's not good. We've lost 6th gear. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world late on. There aren't many parts of this circuit that are 6th. And luckily, again, these engines are so torquey that we can kind of fight around it. It's not perfect, as Genet's in. Why is Marc Genet pitting again? Well, for those of you that have stuck around this series for a long time, you'll remember this was a big issue that we kept having with the Jordan car in 1999. So many races we would lose a gear. It wasn't a problem at all in our BAR car last season. But clearly, yeah, this McLaren's still lacking just a little bit of reliability. Can we just appreciate Jenson Button in his arrows? He's currently running P3. Oh, literally, we got 6th gear back and now I've gone and lost 4th. This is not good towards the end of the race. I'd argue 4th gear is probably an even better one to lose, though, late on. Because, again, where the lower gears are so short, you don't really notice much of a difference. What this is all doing, though, is giving Frentzen an opportunity to try and get close to me by the end. But the pace still seems pretty good in the car.
Some information on Leclerc. They are out of the race.
What? Schumacher and Genet have come together. What on earth is happening? Right, well, I am incredibly confused watching this from Michael Schumacher's POV. He runs wide, almost rolls it before Genet gets collected. I mean, look at this from Genet's POV. Schumacher's up on, like, completely up in the air. That is incredible. But, I mean, they'll both still score points because they've made 90%. But what on earth is that? Well, that must be then one of the weirdest crashes I've ever seen inside this mod. And that's saying something because there's some pretty weird ones inside this game. But I was watching the gap between Schumacher and Button. Schumacher was barely going quicker than the arrows. That just goes to tell you how much Ferrari's pace this season has completely fallen off a cliff. You know, occasionally they're fast, but you come to any circuit with high downforce corners, and they've just got nothing. Sadly, all of those gearbox problems have meant that Jacques Villeneuve, we haven't really been able to challenge him towards the end of the race, but luckily for us, Frentzen has been far enough behind. But for the second time this year then, we're going to be left with just 6 runners come the end of a Grand Prix, and well, once more, it seems like we've had another race of attrition there. This one was kind of just a bit more like Albert Park, Australia, in just a chaotic race, rather than we're at Monaco and Bahrain. Well, Bahrain was a glitch. Monaco, we just saw a lot of drivers having sort of incidents by themselves, just nudging the walls and things like that. But yeah, I mean, also, fun fact, this is going to be the first time this season that Jacques Villeneuve and I share a podium. I did wonder whether we would get a similar recreation to what happened between Jacques and Michael in 1997. Of course, the 2 championship protagonists, fun fact, never shared a podium throughout the 97 season. They were going to, obviously, in the very last race, but then obviously Michael Schumacher crashed into Jacques, or attempted to on purpose, which obviously ruined any chance of that happening in that last Grand Prix as well there. But for Villeneuve, it has been a real turnaround over the last couple of race weekends. Just when I thought this McLaren car was getting really, really strong, Villeneuve has reminded us that when Williams get it hooked up, they are still the team to beat this season. And it's a good job we're hopefully going to be bringing some power unit upgrades to the upcoming races, because boy oh boy, do we need them there. Villeneuve, fastest lap at the end, just goes to hammer the point home. He will take the victory, and Williams third of the campaign there at the final corner. It is P2.
Red Bull pulling out all the stops today. What a great win. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Well, there we are then. Jacques Villeneuve, win number 3 of the campaign there, and reminds everybody that he is a force to be reckoned with this season. We come through for P2. They're sandwiched by those Williams cars. They're gutted for Button, because he absolutely deserved a podium with the way he drove today. I mean, Frentzen, when is he going to get that first win, though? That's the other question on everybody's mind there. Barrichello beat out Jarno Trulli, who gets a point, or gets many points on the board for Minardi come the end of the weekend there. With Schumacher and Genet, like I said, both classified in the end after that very weird incident. Alonso, Wirtz, Schumacher, Coulthard, Magnussen, Alesi, Raikkonen, Fisichella, Hakkinen, Herbert, Montoya, and Verstappen, who all failed to see the checkered flag. I'd love to just get a few races in where we only end up with like 2 or 3 retirements, if possible. With that result, though, we jump over the 100-point barrier there. Just 6, though, the gap between ourselves and Jacques Villeneuve. Frentzen still in 3rd ahead of DC there, with Genet dropping down into 5th. Button now up at a 6th place. So he is basically Mika Salo reincarnated inside this game there. Barrichello tied with him on 31 points there, now ahead of both the Schumachers, who are tied on 27, as Jos Verstappen drops down to the last place inside the top 10. It now just means that Alonso and Montoya, 2 of our rookies, are the only drivers yet to score. Constructors-wise, 2 points in it between us and Williams at the top of the table. There is Sauber still ahead of Jaguar and Ferrari, as well as Jordan, Arrows, Benetton and BAR there. But I tell you what, BAR need to be a little bit nervous, because if Minardi can survive another couple of Grand Prix, they might be able to get the jump on our team. Of course, we almost won the Constructors title last year, and suddenly BAR unable to do anything in this season. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns, ready, I believe, next time out we're at Silverstone.